What's good, YouTube? Steel here, and today's video is to highlight a deck that I piloted the top 32 in the Turtle Weekly number 17 that consisted of 172 players. And although I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is the next best deck in the format, I do believe it's in a great position currently due to where the format has developed, as this deck is able to have a decent to great matchup against most of the field in the format. And with the rise of Darkrai Weavile since the win in the Earthsea Day 20, the stocks on grass decks just keep going up. And personally, I believe what's missing from making this deck at least see more results in a tournament setting is just representation. If more people were to try this deck out, I feel like the numbers would be there. But enough of what could be, let's go right into the deck profile itself. Exeggutor and Exeggutor continue to be one of the few strategies that doesn't mind going first. When it comes to Exeggutor, its bulk continues to be unmatched, as a stage 1 that has 160 HP, 180 with the cape that we're playing is something that most decks struggle taking down. And if luck is on your side and you start winning some coin flips, 80 damage could be game breaking. Then there's Carnivine, there's our deal starter going second. Not only is it dealing 50 damage off the jump, but through personal experience, one of our worst matchups is water, and being able to cut off Manaphy before it does anything is huge. But for the most part, Exeggutor and Carnivine are filling the same role, as you're just trying to apply as much pressure as possible while we build up our true finisher in the form of Arceus, which not only enables Carnivine to deal 50 damage, but since Carnivine and Exeggutor only require 1 grass energy, you're able to spend the majority of your turns building up the Arceus to just finish it out at the end. Which is truly why I believe this deck is better than the CELEBI version, because at the end of the day, no matter how much you build up CELEBI, it does come up to coin flips, and there'll be games where you fill up a bunch of heads and you deal as much as 200 damage, but then there's games where you have an upside of like 250, 300, and you flip like 0 for 6, while Arceus is a guaranteed 70 to 130 damage. There's usually enough to close out the games. And although this deck has access to 2 great starting options, there will be games where you start with Arceus, and for that reason we max out on Leaf to not only move Arceus out of the main spot when it happens to be the only Pokemon in your opening hand, but it also allows you to switch out Exeggutor at any moment as long as it has the 1 energy already. The rest of our supporters are pretty staple, or if you watch my videos, you know I'm a big fan of the 1/1 Sabrina Cyrus line. And the choice to play 2 capes is primarily to protect Arceus, but it could also extend how long Carnivine and Exeggutor are able to remain in the active spot. Overall, I really hope you give this deck a try, and there will be gameplay against some of the better decks in the format showing you exactly how this deck is supposed to work. And if you enjoy breakdowns like these or all things Pokemon Pocket, please consider liking and subscribing, and above all else, stay pro. Alright, going second. That's something like this deck could, I guess depending on the opening, it's whether we don't mind going first or second. And full transparency, our worst matchup is probably water decks, like just Misty outpacing us. Outside of that, like in a world where had we opened Carnivine, we would have just like completely obliterated the strategy. So alright, so we got research here. Execute Cyrus. So we could start hard building that up. We don't have an ideal hand. Full transparency, like that's just obvious. But okay, Misty's one of those things where just it ends games before I could like do anything about them, and I have no control over it. And then sometimes it just does this. Alright, they do have both targets for Manaphy. The upside, unless they're playing like Geos, that we do have Cape for the Arceus to survive the Palkia hit, but yeah, there's not much else I can say about any of this. Despite that, we have some pretty good spots here. All we have to do next turn, we knock out Manaphy, we cape the Arceus for sure. Then we're able to back up Sabrina with Cyrus and make sure we hit the Palkia. At least that's the plan on paper. Alright, and yeah, no hesitation, we do this. Technically, we don't need to put anything else down. I guess there's a world where we could Sabrina, and they might get Q with it and put down Palkia, and we knock that out. That's probably our best bet, honestly. Let's go Sabrina first. And just like that, we get the 1-pointer. And then naturally they'll send out Palkia, but you never know. The upside is that we do survive we just survive most dimensional storms. If they have Geo, then we just explode. But we didn't have an option to play much around anything like that. We just had to be aggressive. Luckily, we see research there, which puts us in a better state of mind. Ideally, we would see Exeggutor, because we want to follow up this Palkia play, but like we want to be able to attack Palkia. All these capes don't matter because once we swing at this Palkia, we have the Cyrus. It's just a matter of drawing Exeggutor, or I guess Carnivine would work too in the long run. We'll still start setting this up. No need to Erica just yet. Yeah, it's really gonna come down to can we see Exeggutor, huh? And realistically, I probably should have put the energy on an Execute so that we could retreat into a Carnivine if we found it. Then again, I think we outpace Palkia, right? Outside of like him using Misty. Which in hindsight means I should have probably Erica'd. But luckily we have Cape, so I think we're fine. Yeah, so now Carnivine wouldn't work either, so... Pokeball, his only target is probably Manaphy, right? Oh no, it could be another Palkia. Alright, so it's gonna come down to survivability, really. Or seeing Exeggutor. There's Carnivine. If we had Leaf, maybe we could have done something with that, but what we're gonna end up doing is this. Then we're gonna Erica one of the Executes so that they can't drag it out with like Cyrus. And then we're gonna Cape another one. And now, even if they drag it out, they can't one-shot it. And that's it for now, really. So if they have another Irida, we do get to knock it out. If they have Sabrina or Cyrus, what's annoying is that we would have to top deck Leaf, which is like the highest chance of what we could draw next turn, mathematically. Although not, actually no, we're just as likely as drawing Exeggutor. What's left in the deck? I don't know if we've even seen a Pokeball this game. Yeah. So our deck is literally 2 Pokeballs. Yeah, no, this is... If we top deck Leaf, we win. Otherwise, we could top deck Exeggutor to have a chance at winning. Yeah, it's gonna come down to a coin flip. Does healing matter? Technically healing matters in the situation in which he doesn't have like another Cyrus or Sabrina, which is very unlikely, but heads. Come on. Let's go. All right. That's one way to win. Not the prettiest way, but again, this is our worst matchup on paper. Although they didn't see Misty, we started very, very like slow. We started with Arceus up front. Any other opening and we would have been in a way better position. Regardless, we got the game. GG's. Alright, we get to go second against Dark. That's another reason that makes this deck, like, another reason I wanted to try this deck out, or like why I thought this deck is so strong, is that ever since Darkrai 1, it starts seeing more and more play. And man, does Grass just eat it up. Like right now, he has no way of protecting Sneasel. If we find, why am I blanking? Come on, think. If we find Arceus, they're just cooked. Technically, they're setting it up where if we knock one out, they get to weave out a revenge kill here. But double Pokeball is looking really good for us here, and we get to follow it up with an Exeggutor. Yeah, there it is. Please, please execute. It's 50% chance. It's a high. We have a high chance of seeing the egg. Damn. Actually, that's probably the worst target off a Pokeball. If I'm gonna be fully transparent here. Well, I'm not gonna get the knockout. Yeah, had either one of those Pokeballs gotten an execute, I 100% promise you we had no way of losing this game. Now they do have access to just evolving into Weavile, get rid of Carnivine, and then it starts getting a little tricky after that. Yeah, we do have Leaf though, so there's like, we're not completely out of it. Like if we see the egg, we have a way of getting Arceus out the way. Let's see here. Can we find the egg? Research could be a way of getting there. We have no Pokeball access, so it's gonna be like we have to hard draw egg. Go here. Here. Start loading this guy up. And pass. Let's see where this goes. Not ideal situation to be in because they're gonna hit us down to 110. If they see Darkrai, we're gonna start like I'll cry. There's Darkrai putting us down to 120. They swing us down to 50. Yeah, and now we just lose to Cyrus. Okay. As good as research is, we're like forced to we have to leave here. And what ends up happening is the fact that we could cape Carnivine into 100 HP, but if we swing, we go down to 80, and then they're able to charge Darkrai, swing with Weavile. Otherwise, we would have been fine had they not had the helmet. So what I'm going to do, granted, we still lose to Cyrus, so not much we could do about that, is I'll cape here. And I'll charge Arceus. If they have it, they have it. We can't play around everything. 7 cards in deck. Okay, Sabrina. We could technically survive on paper. Yeah, Weezing in this format is kind of weird to me, but to each their own. There's Cyrus that we can't take advantage of this turn. We'll have to research here. The idea is to see the egg, like finally see the egg. There you go. Go here. We finally do have Leaf as well, but it's a little too late for that. So let's just retreat into Carnivine. And then we'll feed... Let's do this. And now somehow we're finding a way to possibly win. Again, we auto lose to Cyrus, right? But we know they didn't have Cyrus last turn, so they have to dig for Cyrus this turn. Like they would have had to have top decked it, so we're fine there. They are going to swing at with all their might here. That's an issue. And our best bet is just the Exeggutor coin flip, right? There's no other like real option for us. we gotta go for it. Technically, if we weren't afraid of like Sabrina or Cyrus, we could have played it differently. Where we could have just hit Darkrai and then next turn basically guaranteed. I don't know why I even doubted it. Let's go. Again, ugly game. Those helmets, honestly, it was something that I wasn't prepared for. But good thing to have in mind. GG's though. We get to go second, which what appears to be a water deck just from the sleeves. And we just have like 0 luck starting with Carnivine. Right here, Carnivine would feast. Like outside, you know, if they have cape, then not really, but without cape right now, they just pass. If we top deck Carnivine, we're in the money. Or Pokeball into Carnivine. There's like multiple ways we get into it. Alright, we could end it right here, Carnivine. Oof, I saw green and I got my eyes lit up. Unfortunate. So yeah, the deck has access to punish water decks. It's just we just didn't see it. There's nothing else to say about that. Communication without anything on board. I wonder what they're searching for. Squirtle, Alright, so it's a Blastoise deck. What we fear is clearly the Palkia. But for now, we're just in danger of like, okay, please. Carnivine. You know what? Not the worst thing. Part of me. You know what? Let's get aggressive. Let's do Leaf here. Carnivine would have obviously knocked it out already. And they'd have like nothing going for them. But this is alright too. It makes it so Exeggutor next turn guarantees knocks it out. Building a War Turtle is a choice. That means Palkia won't have 4 energy for at least another couple turns. Which is honestly the path that I was scared of. But now with this, we have access to doing this. Clearly we were always evolving this. I'm gonna hold Cape because ideally we would put it on Arceus, but I would have put it on Arceus had I thought that they were gonna hit us with Palkia, but seeing as that Palkia is not gonna hit us anytime soon. Alright. Now you gotta assume they'll go War Turtle the way they were building up their board. If they decide not to, we can start getting creative with like our Sabrina Cyrus play. We do have a 90 point swing just sitting in the bench, but we have no way of bringing him out. Alright, the crazy cut that y'all saw was that my connection went out for a second. But we're back. And they opted to go for Palkia. Which, interesting choice maybe. We do know that they're swinging for... How much on the flip? For 160. So a cape on... A cape on Arceus doesn't really help us. But we could play around Sabrina this way. As well as start building that up. And I guess there's no reason not to cape here, since it's the only thing that could tank the Blastoise swing. Although after doing this, of course. If we high roll, oof, perfect. And honestly, Exeggutor has been showing out in this video. He does have like access to like healing with Irida though. That's something to keep in mind. Yeah, so he goes back up to 110. The Blastoise is ready to hit full damage here. Rocky Helmet on the Palkia, okay. So it seems like they're gonna stay. So honestly, we win if we see Leaf off the top. Oof, okay. Erica doesn't really matter, right? Because we would heal up to 180, we take 20, we go down to 160, and that's exactly what Blastoise hits for. Yeah, this is just okay. Yeah, no, that's the game. That's the game right there. Because no amount of healing was gonna save this Palkia now. And we have RC. Like my fear was hitting for 40, and then they heal back up to 110. And if we don't see a Pokemon off the top, although it's like very likely, actually not even that likely. It's not likely at all. It's under 50% or about 50, right? Because there's a Pokeball left. Oh no Pokeballs. Oh, there's researches. Okay, I'm speaking a lot of stuff that don't matter. All that to say that the head's guaranteed the win here. Exeggutor fought well. You did everything in your power to make sure we won. And that's all we needed, really. The double heads to get the W. Technically, if one of them missed, he would have been at 70 HP, so it's like... technically not, like, guaranteed, like, what got us the win, but it definitely helped. Yeah, GG's. Alright, we get to start. Against fighting. Well, we got basically the ideal lead here, along with the evolution, along with Cape for longevity. Although they have no way of dealing 50 outright. Like, yeah, Sudowoodo can swing for 50, but once we evolve, so we're not really afraid of that. Yeah, and unfortunately for them, Hitmonlee was never gonna hit us. We'll just pass right there. And one of the Exeggutor has a really good Gallade matchup, mainly and exclusively because it's very bulky and we only use one energy. So, however, it's like they're also bulky and we can only deal X amount of damage. So it's like give or take here. We could get really aggressive. We see Sabrina or something like that, but we'll see. Okay, Arceus. We'll hold Arceus until next turn, where we could actually start charging it up. And the Cape is also like, we'll decide on whether we put it or not later. If we get heads here, we get so ahead. Let's go. Bro, this entire video, like I'm telling you, this is my 6th game of the recording. I don't think he's flipped tails once, except like that one time where it was like to win a game or something. And I don't even think that was making the video because it was against a Meltan that never evolved, so. Alright, so now they have both rolls. Do they have Curlias? And if they have Curlia, would they hold it? Okay, they're going Rocky Helmet again. They're gonna try to like slowly chip away at the Exeggutor, I guess. Although all this chip damage doesn't mean anything if I were to see Erica. Okay, so now we can start building up Arceus. And I almost want to be like, nah, let's put Carnivine. Like for a second I was like, oh, let's put I want the Sabrina since I could easily leaf it away, but let's just play correctly. And he is on one, dude. Like, I'm wasting all my... I'm recording this the night before the Ursi Day, I feel like I'm gonna use this deck in the tournament and just like explode, like just lose. Like I'm wasting all my heads in this recording, but whatever. It goes to show, I guess, the highest potential of the deck, because mathematically, this doesn't make no sense. They got their research, so realistically should hit Curlia by now. Yep. However, Curlia is still in range of Exeggutor, so we also have to keep in mind that we're at 100. Galade's only hitting us for 100. I mean, for 90. Okay, research. Another Carnivine. We don't need to do that. Let's put energy here. Let's cape so that we survive any form of Galade attack. And then, why not go? He didn't even let it happen. You know what? We'll call it 3 for 3 there. GG's.